Welcome to this video lecture on the property law case of Dayandayan versus spouses Rojas, decided by the Supreme Court in 2020. We will explore the critical concepts of unlawful detainer, the burden of proof regarding tolerance, and the importance of prior physical possession. This case involves petitioners, who were long-term occupants of a residential lot in Leyte, and the respondents, who purchased the property in 1997. The core controversy centers on whether the petitioners occupied the land through the respondents' tolerance, as claimed, or through continuous possession dating back to the early 1980s. The parties presented conflicting versions of the facts. Respondents claimed they acquired the lot in 1997 and permitted the occupants to stay under a promise to vacate. Conversely, the petitioners maintained they built their homes on the land long before 1997, denying any permission was ever requested or granted. This video summarizes the complex intersection of title acquisition, legal procedures, and the specific evidence required under Rule 70 to establish unlawful detainer. We will examine the procedural timeline and the final ruling that favored the long-term occupants. The procedural history shows a back-and-forth battle. While the MCTC initially ruled for the respondents, the RTC later dismissed the suit. The Court of Appeals reinstated the MCTC decision, but ultimately, the Supreme Court in 2020 granted the petition, reversing the decision and ruling that unlawful detainer was the incorrect legal remedy. Now let's deconstruct the legal analysis. We will look at the jurisdictional requirements for an unlawful detainer suit, the strict definition of tolerance, and the proper possessory remedies available under the law. To successfully file for unlawful detainer, 4 requisites must be met: initial lawful possession, subsequent illegalization of that possession after notice, the unlawful withholding of the property, and the filing of the action within a 1-year jurisdictional window from the last demand to vacate. A core legal doctrine highlighted in this case is the proof of tolerance. The Supreme Court clarified that tolerance is not mere silence or inaction, which constitutes negligence. Instead, the plaintiff must prove through positive acts that permission was granted from the very inception of the defendant's occupancy. The court's pronouncement was clear. It is legally impossible for respondents to have tolerated possession from the start if the petitioners were already physically occupying the property long before the respondents even acquired their ownership in 1997. It is essential to distinguish between possessory actions. Action interdictal involves summary ejectment in MTC. Action publiciana is a plenary action in RTC to determine the better right of possession. And action revindicatoria is an action to recover ownership based on a registered title. In conclusion, remember these takeaways. Always plead specific facts regarding tolerance, investigate prior occupancy before filing, and choose the proper legal action, as registered title alone does not always justify a summary ejectment suit. Thank you for watching this lecture on Dayandayan versus spouses Rojas. We hope this overview of the case clarifies the complexities of property law and possessory actions.